making sure it actually, comes up. There we go. All right, everybody. We are here for the first ever show on this channel. We're going to talk all about Rebel Scum Con Year 2. And I have three of the awesome guys that are part of the organizational and creative team that make that show what it is. Y'all do 5 bajillion things on that show, so I'm going to let you intro yourselves. Bobby, if you just say you're the host, I'm gonna correct you.
I know.
So go ahead.
Okay, hello. My name is Bobby. I am chief of content, and I host a bunch of things at Rebel Scum Con, but I wouldn't say I'm the host of Rebel Scum Con.
You're the MC. You are the MC. I mean, we have other hosts, we have other people that moderate panels, we have other people that do interviews and stuff. But I mean, it's ultimately this is that's Bobby's face. That is the one that we get all the hello there's from.
That's right.
Yes.
Hello there. That's right.
Hello there.
Tucky, what about you?
All right, me. Hey, I'm Kentucky. I primarily take care of all the booking when we're leading up to the show. And when it comes down to the show itself, the logistics for on-site is and guest management is kind of what I take care of.
Dante?
I mean, there's a bunch of things, but those are the.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Tucky's being very modest, but he makes a lot of the things. He makes a lot of things go. So that's the great. He makes my job easy. So I'm Dante. I'm the marketing director for Rebel Scum Con, and usually my stamp you see is mainly social media in general. So the things that usually go out. I mean, hopefully, I guess if you're watching this, you do know about us by now. But if not, it's very nice to acquaint you guys or be acquainted, I guess. So yeah.
All right. Definitely. So we're about 2 weeks, give or take, out from Rebel Scum Con Year 2. I just want to start with how are you guys recovering? How are you guys reflecting on, because Year 2 was absolutely incredible. So how are you guys kind of reflecting on that before you kind of get into the heaviness of what will be Year 3?
I'm feeling pretty good. I've been I mean, it definitely hasn't been quiet since Year 2 has ended. And honestly, it's making me want to get to Year 3 that much quicker, just because I already miss all of you so much. I mean, not these other two guys. I still get to see them regularly.
Yeah. You get us no matter what.
But not that I don't enjoy it. But I already miss all of us being together, and I mean, year 2 was so much fun. It was such a blast.
I basically, I don't know. I know it's 2 weeks, but it doesn't feel like it's 2 weeks. It feels like it was almost like 2 days ago. It's felt like it's like been an elongated, like just 2 days. That it was just then, it just happened, and it's so fresh in our minds. But like the time that's taken place doesn't even compute really. It's just like, okay, it's over. It's I mean, I'm kind of already ready to start. Like I've already begun starting on Year 3. So it was kind of like basically Monday morning, there was already, and if not during the show, like I had talked to a couple of the agents, and it's like, hey, I want this guy and this guy and this guy next year. And I'm like, cool. So there's almost no off time. It's, there's the show, and then there's everything to the show, and then there's the show again. But so it's I can't wait for Year 3. I already see the things that we've kind of, done on 2, and I'm just I'm still in like the physical recovery process, but I'm already ready for 3.
Right. Yeah. You said 2 weeks, and I didn't even realize it was 2 weeks. So
it feels like longer.
Well, it does, but then also like people are still posting about us, still like talking about us. So it's weird. So it feels like, was it really 2 weeks ago, or was it this past weekend? Kind of. It's really weird. It's in a very good way, right? Like sometimes a lot of these events, like that we go to. I mean, Cameron, you're a big con guy, right? It's like you kind of think about it in the moment, maybe one day after, and then after that's kind of back to life.
Look forward to the next one. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Maybe.
Well,
it depends.
maybe.
Sometimes it depends who's coming. Right. But
I'll definitely say I'll definitely say the high from this one is taking a lot longer to wear off. So we'll take that as a compliment, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's a good thing. That's a good thing. This being prevalent in your mind longer is a good thing. That means we did our job.
Bobby, I kind of want to ask you about the panel hosting and all the kind of, because you are, and this will tie into what I want to ask Dante about in a minute, but you are kind of the face of Rebel Scum Con in a way, because I mean, probably starting at around Christmas, I could not open a social media app anywhere without seeing your face.
Bobby makes it easy, I'll tell you that.
Look,
that's a combination of both of us for sure.
Yeah. Well, he's clicking the button so that you see his face.
Right.
I can tell you that I've known you for, if you can believe it, almost a decade now, so I don't ever get tired of your face.
I appreciate that.
But I could not open a social media app without seeing you talking about the show. But what kind of goes into being the face, and then at the show itself kind of being the host, that's the one that's on stage, the one that's, because you kind of just have to be, and I know you, so this is probably not that difficult for you, but you kind of just have to be on all the time over the course of that weekend. What was that like?
I mean, it was more of just how I just, like you said, you know me pretty well. It just felt more of how I already am, just with a lot more people around me, and in faces that I had only seen from a screen myself in a lot of cases. And I mean, just as people were excited to come and meet any of us, I was just as excited to meet all of you, and that's kind of where there is no turning it on or off. Is I'm just pretty much excited all the time, because I'm always looking forward to spending time with people, especially Star Wars fans. So if you give me the space and allow the fans to show up, I'm just going to be in a super good mood and excited to spend time with you guys, because I mean, that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah. Dante, what was the social media aspect like for you? What kind of, what did it take? What did it take to get Bobby's face everywhere?
Tucky can help with that part too.
Money is one of them. Money is
that is
fair
true.
enough.
I will say it's been nice though, because usually it is just Bobby, and this year I kind of wanted to put more of a name with a face for Tucky too, because he does a lot of the things that we do, and luckily he was totally down for it. And I don't know, some people are camera shy. I mean, obviously with Tucky's line of work that he's done in the past, obviously I knew he'd be down, but figured more than just Bob, more the merrier kind of thing. And then even myself just kind of joining in and being like, hey, we all have good things to say, so might as well just get if it makes sense for everyone, then let's do it. So I mean, getting Bobby everywhere, that's pretty easy. He's very easy to work with, I will say. I mean, Tucky is too. We just kind of, hey, here's what we're doing. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and do it. So pleasure to work with everyone. And the whole thing, just social media stuff in general, is just insane. Like on Instagram alone, what is it? The past 30 days, like we were like hitting like a million views on our Instagram content for like the 2 concurrent months. So July and August, and then even the month before.
I didn't even know that. That's insane. That number.
Oh yeah,
they heard that number with all those zeros.
Yeah, and it's just Instagram. Facebook is a beast of its own too. It's pretty damn close for a lot of it. So it was very. I mean, I'm a big numbers guy, and that's my 9 to 5 is a lot of just looking at numbers, and okay, it makes sense. The data makes sense for it, but seeing it along with the data was very nice to see. And I think it really didn't click until we were in Bobby's panel. I climbed up before the panel, I was just like, Bobby, look at this. Just look out there. Like, we were pretty impressed with last year, but like even now it's like, whoa, all these people are here and you're up here. And then even after after that, we just after I climbed up and took the picture with the crowd and everything, I was like, shit, we did it, man. Like it took the village, but we did the damn thing. So it was insane.
But that's the important part is the acknowledging of the village itself, because none of us could have accomplished this on our own. I mean, while there's 3 of us in this today, I mean, really, if we wanted to start giving people credit where credit's due, I mean, there's not enough space on the screen for the amount of squares there should be, really.
That's true.
And there were the beautiful thing about year 2 was how many other villages or communities came in to join us, like Tennessee Collectors Club, for example, and Josh.
The VCN.
Was a very big village that came in and helped. I mean, talking about awesome peak moments, some of our most peak moments are from Bunta Eve. I mean, we all know the one. It's Matt and David singing Youngie Wim. I mean,
I thought you were talking about Ross Ross and Aiden.
That was good too. But
that was pretty funny.
We had been talking about Youngie Wim for months, and as just like this silly thing of if they're in there and the weather conditions are right, maybe. But I mean, especially when you're talking about Star Wars celebrities or celebrities in general, you never expect them to cut loose and just have a good time like that. So to be able to really give credit to all of it. I mean, it's to everybody, all the hands who helped make RSC year 2 so great.
It really felt like Avengers Endgame. Actually, it was pretty fun before they opened the portals up. It was just like the big group that handles it. Just talking about the behind the scenes people, just like not the day of people. Even then, I guess you could add them in. But it was like, all right, we're gonna do this, and then those communities come in, the portals open up, and it's like,
the rings are opening.
Exactly. Here we go.
Hey, Tucky, on your left.
And I mean, I just because Bobby, I've known you for so long, and Josh for so long, and everybody from back in the Order 66 days. I mean, I just want to give shout out, because the staff and the volunteers and everything was just amazing. And whether it's Josh or Heather or Vinny or Tim, or I could just go on and on and on. But and I tried to make an effort over the course of the entire weekend to, whenever I would see anybody, even if it was just passing in the hallway, just doing good, show's awesome, just trying to, I don't know how many times I walked past Tucky in the hallway and just stuck my fist out, and I don't even know if he realized that it was me, or because he was going.
I see a face, I bump it.
I mean,
well, no, but I know Cameron, and when I see him, like, and most times it would be like a fist bump, because he'll see me coming around a corner, and I'm going at like probably my maximum speed at walking, and he's like, he's on a mission. He's always on a mission. So it's like I'm not gonna be able to grab him, to talk about anything, but. He's like, I can get a bump in, and he can know. He knows I see him, and I'm like, I feel it, and I see it.
Yeah, and I tried to do that as much as I could over the course of the weekend, because I mean, I've seen how hard you guys work, and not just you guys, but Josh and Peter and everybody else. So, but
well, we've had a lot of people come into the mix and like kind of come under the umbrella of Rebel Scum Con to help out, but it's still mine and Bobby and Josh's baby. So there's a lot of things that we still like to handle ourselves, and not like kind of delegate out to like managers for departments. It's kind of because we still, we still very well. I mean, it's not like we ever will not, but we care so much about the product that's coming out that we want to make sure we have our touch on it to make sure that this is getting executed exactly how we envisioned it, so that it's not getting lost in a translation or lost in a game of telephone on how it should happen. It's like, we want to stay as hands-on as we can with the show, so that it never gets lost as to what the goal is.
Yeah, and I mean, Tucky, I don't know if this is public knowledge or not, but did you not go pick Sam Witwer up from the airport personally?
Yes. Yeah, I did. Yeah, but there was a bunch of
Yeah.
there's a bunch of delays at the airport, because that happens all the time at DFW. We get a little bit of weather and everything starts getting backed up. And I was like,
today even.
okay, he's landing in 40 minutes. I'm out. Like, that's it. I'm like, because there's people there already at the, our two drivers were already there picking people up. And like, they had people in their car that were like not part of that pickup because they were coming in later and whatnot. And I was like, all right, I'm just going. Like, we're not going to leave Sam sitting at the, sitting at the baggage claim. Like, I'm just going to go. And then it turned out he landed 10 minutes early. I'm like, oh man. But yeah, no, it was fun, and it was a fun car ride back. It was unexpected. I tried to treat it like an Uber driver. Like, he doesn't need to know I'm the person who booked him. Like, he doesn't need to know like I'm one of the owners of the show. I'm like, I'm just gonna kind of let him like do his thing, and then he started kind of interacting, and I was like, oh well, then we had a fun chat. We got to talk about Superman and Fantastic Four, and just a little bit of things, and then he got a history of rebelscum.com and how the interaction of rebelscum.com and Ahmed Best of the handling of the situation with the kind of negativity that was coming around the prequels and directed towards him, and how Rebel Scum was kind of working towards keeping that negativity turning it positive. And it kind of, I think we were never told that, but I think it played a role in him choosing us to be his first major show back on the autograph circuit, the convention appearance circuit. And his agent told us that he had turned down 57 offers, and he chose 4 offers, and ours was like the first of those 4 that he did that year. So it kind of just telling our little story to Sam, so he understood where he was going. It was really cool in the time. And by the time we pulled up to the hotel lobby, I was like, okay, cool. Let me help you out, get you checked in at the hotel and whatnot. And he's like, you know what? I'm here. It's Friday. I think I want to sign a little bit. It's like, I just want to go to my table. I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's cool. Let me, kind of start telling people things so they can make sure things are ready. Let me make sure your handler's here because he's at a different hotel. Let me make sure like your photos are on there. Let me make sure security know. Let me make sure, they can kind of like set up the lines. We can kind of whisper to some people if they want to start lining up.
Yeah. Well, that was a funny experience.
Speaking as the first person that was in that line on Friday.
Oh yeah,
I was the first signature that he got on Friday.
Nice.
I would say we have a story about that because Matt Wood, he has the same agency as Sam, so his handler like saw me and was like, "Hey, Dante, I think Matt's gonna sign today," and I was like, "Oh, really?" And then Tucky, you called me to confirm it.
Well, no, Matt called us 3.
We knew ahead of time.
Matt emailed us like 2 weeks prior.
Yeah, we announced that.
No. I'm talking about like for Sam.
Oh, you're talking about Sam.
Oh, for Sam.
Yeah. Because it was like, hey, just tell everyone, make sure there's a line. Because it was like, hey, I was like, oh crap, how do I do this? Like, Bobby, I've been had your mom write a like we had to find a blank sheet of paper, and I was like, my handwriting's terrible. Sam was coming today. I was like, hey, can you do this for me? I was like, you're a teacher, this should be fine. So they did that, and then I told Cameron, I said, spread the word. I told a few other influencers, and then it was a packed line by the time he got there. I was like, oh, thank goodness. So that was a funny little.
That I don't think that would be a difficult thing to do, is to pack a line for Sam Witwer.
Right.
I mean, if you say the name, people will be there.
Right.
And the fact that, regardless of what you had planned to get signed, It's like, wait, he's here right now. I mean, there's definitely something I can get signed right now that I want. So that's
that was
sort
a
of
huge buzz. Yeah, everyone was so excited.
I wanted to.
Like, oh, really? Yeah, I'll do that today then. Like,
yeah. I mean, well, Matt was the first person that messaged us and wanted to sign. He's like, hey, I'm going to be on site, so I might as well, work on Friday.
Right.
After that, then who was it? It was Michelle Ang and Rena were like, oh, they're going to be on site, so they might as well work. And then Nashir offered as well as Gwen Yo, but Nashir's flight ended up getting canceled, so he wasn't able to. But Dennis Lawson was like, hey, I'm going to be on site. I might as well sign. There were almost everyone, a good chunk of the people that were 2-day guests decided they were like, no, I'm here. I want to go meet people now. I don't want to wait another day. So
and I mean, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and it was really good for them that they did, because they did really well.
Yeah, everyone did.
Tucky, I kind of want to ask you about the guest list. You just listed off a handful of them, but I mean, how do you guys, because you guys had people from all corners of, you had Lauren Peterson, who was a model maker on the very original film, to pirates from Skeleton Crew, to the Bad Batch, to Force Unleashed. Do you guys, do y'all have a network to kind of see who's available to do things? Do y'all throw names at a board until one sticks?
I mean,
it kind of seems like that.
All of that and more. Yeah. We kind of, after year one happened, certain doors opened up for us with different agencies and whatnot for Star Wars clients. And then after this year, now pretty much, anything is available to us. It just kind of, we look at it like it's not necessarily just like what sticks to the wall. Like, we want to make sure we have someone for everyone. Whatever your favorite Star Wars content is. If if you love the original trilogies, we're gonna have people that are from the original trilogy there that you're gonna get to see and you're gonna want to meet. The same thing for the sequels or the prequels or animated or Clone Wars era, Rebels era, the newer Disney Plus shows, a lot, the newer live action stuff like Ahsoka or Mandalorian or then there's the Bad Batch, Skeleton Crew, and Acolyte. We want to try to hit everything and have everything available for everyone, so that there's never anyone that could say, well, I like Star Wars and all, but there's really nothing there for me this year, and that's the goal is for that to never happen. Yeah. And when we do start, putting together, guests, we try to not just do like one person from a media. We try to make sure that it's there's kind of, I don't know. I've said it before. It's like I kind of look at the booking as like, what would be a really cool panel or what would be a really cool photo opportunity. And that's kind of how how I try to approach the booking, instead of like, just one person from a movie. It's, hey, let's get like 3 or 4 Rebel pilots together, maybe across a couple movies, or 4 people from the Bad Batch, or 4 of the Mandalorians from Mandalorian. Then that's kind of the vibe we go for.
Yeah. That's what I was alluding to earlier, saying Tucky makes my job a hell of a lot easier. So
yeah.
It's awesome when you don't have to kind of love everyone in the fandom, but sometimes, like, especially with like super small con, it's like, who is this? And there's a lot of education that you have to do and very hard to spin and things of that sort. But you have Sam Witwer, right? Or you have a Michelle Ang, or it's so, and then like the possibilities are endless when it comes to like content and things of that sort too. So I always thank Tucky for booking like that, and especially for the panels too, because it's great clips that will be coming out very soon. So
and I mean, it being somebody that's been a Star Wars fan for so long, I appreciate, and I didn't necessarily have something to get signed by every guest that was there, but I had some downtime on Saturday and Sunday, and I just liked to walk around and just kind of have conversations with, I don't think I talked to everybody, but almost everybody, and ended up just having some really good, conversations about Star Wars, about other things, and that's the kind of cool thing too, because some of these, I don't want to call them small parts, but people that don't have huge roles in Star Wars, they don't get invited to, even something
not as
like
much screen time. We could just say that.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. I mean, even something like Celebration.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. I mean,
out
that's
some of So it's cool to see them and to be able to let the fans interact with them and stuff like that, which is why I think it's so cool.
They all have their own Star Wars story.
100%.
They all have their entryway into, like, this. I grew up. I watched. I was at I was at the movie theater in '77, or vice versa, or the prequels was the first movie I ever saw. They all have their entryway in, but they also have their own Star Wars story and when they came into the world, where they got brought in or how they got brought in, or like kind of like. Will found out with Sam and Dave Collins, how he got brought into Star Killer.
Yes.
There's so many. It's and it's kind of the beauty of our show versus corporate shows, is the fact that the approachability of the guests there. You have the option of talking to all of these guests, and it's not, hey, what are you buying? Oh, you're not here to buy anything? Could you step to the side? You're kind of killing our time.
100%. Yeah.
Which is part of why we do our tickets the way we do for autographs, is so that you can have that non-transactional interaction with the guests themselves
from the beginning.
When you're standing in front of them. It takes all the anxiety of, are you going to buy something or beat it, bozo, out of out of that interaction. And yes, you're going to have to wait in line maybe a little bit beforehand, but name one convention where you're not having to wait in the line for something.
Yeah, right. That's just part of it.
Yeah.
It's part of it. There's line. I mean, there's lines with everything we do, and in the convention world, there's always going to be lines. So if we came up with something that over time people are going to realize that you wait in one line a little bit longer, and then you almost wait in no lines after that. It's a situation where people are eventually going to start to, some people see it now, but I think everyone will start to see it over time, that it's a faster process.
And that's kind of what I was telling people on Friday, when the line to get to the ticket purchasing was getting a little long.
Sure.
But my whole thing was, I stand in this line once.
Yeah.
Don't stand in another line for the rest of the weekend. For the most
part.
For
the weekend, not
and
just
it's
the rest
the most
of the day.
boring line too. You're getting the most boring part of the convention attending experience out of the way.
Yep.
Right then and there.
Yep. And then for the rest of the weekend, I didn't have
all fun times and smiles.
Yeah.
And hey, I loved you in this thing. Oh, wait, you're getting this piece signed by me? Oh, that's so great. And then you had such an amazing fan experience because of it.
Yeah. I want to ask y'all about the growth from year one to year two, because that was just something that was absolutely incredible. Was that something that you guys, was it something that you knew was going to happen? Was it something you hoped would happen and kind of planned accordingly? Did it completely take you by surprise altogether? What was that like?
A little bit of both.
Yes,
there's a little bit of both. Because a lot of the growth that came out of year two, especially community-wise, and that's really the biggest growth I would say we had, was our community growth. It was born out of relationships we tried to start for year one, in some cases, and relationships we did start in year one that blossomed into bigger relationships that we hoped they would blossom into and are currently getting bigger and better, and relationships that that were, like I said, a little apprehensive at first, saw how we did on year one, and we're like, yeah, let's do year two. And now we're looking at doing that same kind of growth, just a little bit more on year three, because
no, not a little bit. We're locked.
A lot. Well,
you're being very modest.
But
I mean, it's exactly what Bobby said. It's like, certain people that, community wise, we met year one. and they were there, and they're like, they bought into it, and they were the early adapters, and they saw it and they liked it. But then there were the people that they talked to.
Yep.
And like they were like, man, you missed out. I told you should have came to this. You didn't. They're like, this is what happened. And then they kind of were people that we started beginning to speak to in the off season, in the building of year two, the build up to year two. And it kind of, and they were welcomed into this community. And then, that's going to, that's going to repeat again. Except it's just going to be exponential, because now, like, like those trees in the TVA, like the vines are getting wider and wider.
The branching,
the branches,
The communities are branching off.
I was just curious, having been at both year one and year two, just because I'm a Dallas guy, so I've known everybody.
Well,
but
as somebody who attended, what did you think of it, of the growth from year one?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it was incredible. I mean, I've been going to cons for probably like 6 years now, and I've never had a con experience like RSC year two, not even close. And I mean, I say that just because the community, which is what I've heard Bobby talk about and what I've heard a lot of people talk about. And I mean, I'm not sure where this saying started, but I've heard it a couple of different times, and I've heard a couple of different versions of it. But I've heard a lot of where fandom became family. And there was a ton of that. I mean, I'm a pretty in my shell kind of guy, and Star Wars has kind of always been my thing, but at the show this year, I mean, I met people and made friends that I'm still talking to, and we're already talking about what we're going to do at RSC next year. We're already talking about going to Celebration. It was the kind of thing too, since the show is still pretty small, on the smaller side, usually you stand in a line and you'll have a good conversation with somebody, but then the line will move and you'll never see
him again.
See them again, right? Yeah.
Like literally.
But at this show, I would meet people and talk to them and be like, okay, cool, see you later, and actually see them later and be like, oh, cool, you got that piece signed, that's cool, you're going to this panel, I'm going over here to do this thing, But the community, seeing the content creators, the cosplayers, the vendors, the staff, everybody just come together was a really awesome thing. And I got so many cool pieces signed, but honestly, my favorite souvenir, and I've got it sitting over here, it's a stack of pictures with all the new friends that I made.
That's awesome.
And like that's probably my favorite, my favorite souvenir from the weekend, which is just, I didn't have that Star Wars friends, and now I do. And it's, it's sappy and it's emotional and it's, whatever it is, but
so it's all about,
man.
That's what it's,
it's what we were going for.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's literally, that right there. It was our goal, was so that, we'd have a place for Star Wars fans, like our Star Wars friends, to meet. And at the same time, it's like you could bring your Star Wars friends, and then we're all going to get to be Star Wars friends. And it's to have this place that's right here in the central of the country, right here in Texas, 3.5, 4-hour flight from anywhere in the U.S. So everyone can come and meet once a year, every year. It's we're not going to skip years. We're not going to, bounce around cities. We're going to be right here. Somewhere in the in the Dallas metro area every year, and it's going to be right around the same time, and we're going to be here for everyone, for Star Wars friends. That's it. That's what it's all about. It's the actors, it's the cosplayers, it's the content creators, it's just fans. It's for all of us. We're all Star Wars friends.
It's cool now because not only do I get to be excited for the show next year, because I know the show is going to be awesome, because I know the show's going to be awesome because I know you guys. But now there's almost an extra level of excitement because I get to see all of those friends again. So, there's just a whole nother level of, hype for next year. So yeah, what was y'all's kind of, did you expect the community to come together in that way? Because I know there's a lot of people that like to talk about how toxic Star Wars can be and the Star Wars fan community can be.
Well,
it's weekends like that change my mind.
Yeah, I think the weekends like that need to happen to show that the Star Wars community isn't toxic. That there is some toxicity in the community, but those are never going to be the people that are going to show up to an event.
Right.
Those are the people that want to hide behind a keyboard and do their thing from a distance and not be seen in front of people. The people that are going to come out and go and stand in line to meet their favorite person in a particular movie or TV show or cartoon are never going to be the people that are going to be negative and be toxic. So like the people that are going to be coming out to an event like ours and other events are going to be the positive people in the community. And those are the ones that people are meeting and befriending and kind of growing their own communities out of. And that's what's going to happen, so that's just another way to combat that the negativity for how minuscule it is. It just gets, the small sometimes are loud, and it happens on the internet because it's a place where everyone can get a loudspeaker. But when you're out in person, that's when you get to see that it's not that negative. It's definitely a positive place to be.
Yeah, I will say, Retney's Holocron came by, and that was totally unexpected. And he actually posted about us, and in the video, someone was like, "Oh, so everyone wasn't crying like how the internet is." And then his response is like perfect. He's like, "No, Twitter isn't real." That's not
real life.
Yeah. So it's the minority is very loud, unfortunately, on the internet. But then once you get them all together in the room,
loud.
They're nowhere to be found. So
they're not.
Yeah.
And if they are, they're usually there. And if those negative aspects are there, they're not expressing any of that.
Yep.
They're at least positive for that time period. That period of time.
There's no clickbait they have to do in person. You can't clickbait in person, right? You can't. I mean, you can rage bait, but it's not really popular when you're around a ton of people who really think, "Hey, I love this franchise," and whatever way I do, kind of thing. So
yeah.
I
mean, no one's gonna wait in line for 30 minutes to get to the front of someone's table and be like, "Hey, man, I really think you're horrible at what you do," or "Hey, that character you portray sucks." Like,
I would say on year one, I had a little bit of that anxiety, just because we hadn't done it yet.
Sure.
Year two, not so much.
Yeah.
But year one, I had a little bit of that anxiety because we had no idea. We were just built it for the first time. Yeah. We had hoped for the outcome that we got from the community and communities that ended up showing on both years.
Right.
But at the same time, you never know. And it was, I think, very much like the triumphant battle scene at the end of The Rise of Skywalker when the civilian fleet showed up. That's how it felt.
Oh yeah. They
just
did
like,
come. Yeah.
They just it was just like hyperspace everywhere of just smiling Star Wars fans just showing up to do whatever they came to do, get that piece, get that autograph, sit in that
100%.
The last thing I say about kind of unpredictability, I will say you never know. You kind of always assume as a con goer, not everyone, but a good majority just kind of walk up kind of thing, because you have what you project from pre-sales and things of that sort, but you never know, especially with a 2-year con, especially with only 1 year of data. Now we have 2, obviously. Now we can kind of compare. It's okay, around this amount might be walk-ups, and we can kind of maybe bank on that a little bit, and not even fully, because it probably will be 10%, 20%, 30% more than what those year-over-year benchmarks are. But it was crazy, just Friday, which is usually historically not a busy day for conventions. and going outside and being like, this is the line to get your ticket. I was like, oh my God, this is insane. Like,
I mean, even on Thursday, even on Thursday was kind of, I think Thursday was the day that Josh and Bobby, like, we kind of all looked at each other, and like there was like okay, I guess this is really happening this year. Like it's, like we've been planning it for 11 and a half months, but like it's people are buying onto it, like they've been telling us they have, when we're going on podcasts in the in the text channel and in the comments section on, like, on posts on Meta, they're telling us, but it's it's until it happens, is it real or is it not?
And it is, and it's also really hard to see it happening when you've been entrenched for just months straight of sleepless nights and just constant building of what we ended up making, because I mean it takes so much more than anybody would expect or could expect. I mean, even reasonably, not to say we walked into this with naivety, but to say that even of the rational expectations and very real expectations we had and ended up dealing with or encountering as they came up, there's still things that can happen that you never expect to happen, both positive and negative alike. Whether it's, hey, this guest has to cancel because of their health, or because, they just got booked on doing a new show or something, or whether that's the other way around, where this guest decided, I'm going to sign for an extra day just because I got a good feeling about it, and then you just get to spend a whole nother day making memories with them.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Bobby, I want to ask you, just partially because I have known you for so long, and I know what Order 66 Toys has been through, and I know what buying the purchase of rebelscum.com meant to you guys, and then what eventually became Rebel Scum Con. Did that feel like, has it felt like a natural progression, or and is this something that you, just as a Star Wars fan, ever saw yourself doing?
Oh, definitely not. Yeah, not in the slightest. Doing a convention was never something I thought I was going to be doing with my life, especially 10 years ago.
Going to conventions, baby.
Going to conventions, certainly. Actually, 10 years ago, I thought by now I would have been attending conventions as a guest, signing, as doing voice acting or whatever else. Because when I was going to college, I got a degree in radio television because I wanted to do voice acting. Me too. And I do a little bit of it now, but through Adventurous Ideas with C. Andrew Nelson, who was a guest of ours at Rebel Scum Con both years. Once through the main roster, the second year he came as a guest of Order 66 Toys, along with Eric Walker and David Ankrum and Chris Bartlett. And so I do a little bit of that now, but it definitely came out of a natural-ish progression, even though it was one I didn't necessarily see coming, because my career really started through just hosting Star Wars fan content for Order 66 Toys, and I still do. We mostly just do the live show content on Fridays and some stuff here in between, but it definitely was a natural shift of doing the fan content I did for Order 66 Toys that I now do for rebelscum.com, which Dante can also attest to a bit, because he also works on the rebelscum.com crew as well, and helps get that content out for everybody to see. For us, is because that's a challenge that any outlet faces. And honestly, what helped lead to, wait, was Rebel Scum Con first or rebelscum.com first for you?
No, .com, and then
.com and then con.
Was it? I thought it was, I don't know.
It was around the same. It was very close around.
I think it was simultaneous.
Very close together.
It really went hand in hand. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, going into a convention, I mean, I had attended conventions many times by the time we started actually seriously planning year one, and because my first major convention that I had gone to was BotCon 2010 in Orlando, Florida. It was another floating con, but it was kind of think about what we do, but it's all Transformers, not Star Wars. And it was the official convention. So I like to attend lots of cons. I have for a long time. And I've interviewed guests quite a bit through Order 66 Toys. So when we were throwing a convention together, it was just, to me, it was just doing more of what I was already doing, just in a public space with more people in front of me rather than doing it behind a camera.
So it was a natural progression, but it wasn't something you could have foreseen.
Like it wasn't expected. It
wasn't something I set out to do.
Yeah. But each step of the way, it has kind of naturally progressed into, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I want to kind of rapid fire with you guys. Yeah. What was your top moment from year two? And did you guys yourselves have a favorite guest interaction? Bobby's laughing, so
I have a few really good ones.
Go ahead.
I would say my favorite, Aiden is such a shenanigizer, by the way. I love that. He is fun to hang out with. So late wood night, we're getting back from Dave & Buster's. This is day 2, Saturday night.
I think Tim might have told me this story.
He probably told you about this because he was with me. It's 1 a.m. or no, it's after 1 a.m. It's somewhere between 1 and 1:30. Tucky's leaving to go show Dominic and some of the guests his collection and pick up some things from his place. And I see Matt Wood, Carly, Aiden, and Puro just chilling because they were hanging out at Dave & Buster's having a good time. Yeah. And they're playing with some basketballs and bouncy balls that they picked up from the gift shop at Dave & Buster's.
Yeah. The ticket shop.
And prize shop, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So they're walking, and as they're walking to the elevator, they're talking about how high they're going to drop their balls from in the hotel. So they went all the way up to the 14th. And
that's how you kill someone.
Huh?
That's how
well, no, it was fine. It was empty. It was an empty lobby. Okay. And they just reached over and dropped their little balls and watched them bounce. Puro's smaller rubber bouncy ball went higher than the other one, I believe. One of them bounced all the way up to the second floor. The other one almost made it there. But it was just such a funny, awesome moment.
So Mon Mothma's assistant, Luke Skywalker, and
General Grievous.
General Grievous we're playing bouncy ball physics on the 13th floor of the hotel.
Yes, but to watch them just like talk about doing it and then do it and then actually run away and giggle like kids was just one of the coolest moments.
That sounds like fun. I've got a bum that missed out on that one. That's fun.
Carly, like I was hanging out with her and Matt and Piero at Dave & Buster's, and she was like, "Do you want to go play Guitar Hero?" And I was like, no, I'm awful at Guitar Hero. And she was like, "Oh, I'm terrible too. It's okay." She was like, "You'll be fine." Walked over there, picked the hardest song, and just like shredded. And nice. I was like,
So what was it?
like,
Through
Oh,
the
she
ashes?
hustled you.
Yes.
Oh.
With Matt Wood and Piero standing right there
Oh,
just watching.
yeah.
So I was like,
She's like,
oh no.
She's like, watch.
Yeah.
I just told this kid I'm not very good at this game.
Picked the hardest song and then just
Oh, no.
absolutely annihilated.
Oh.
And
Oh,
yeah,
She's like,
and
your turn.
yeah.
right.
I was like, nope, I'm not following that.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna go over
Fire
here and
on
play
expert.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ride that
and-
dirt bike or shoot the dinosaur.
Yeah. And it was funny too because I don't know another convention where I can sit there and play video games with baby Luke Skywalker and General Grievous. And at one point I'm sitting there playing a game at Dave and Buster's and I was trying to be covert about it. I don't think I was at all, but I like covertly handed Carly my phone and was like, take a picture. And I don't think I was covert about it at all, but yeah, it was, and that's kind of the community thing that I'm talking about. I mean, there's no other show that can do that. You know,
I mean, I don't want to go and toot my own horn or our own horn for that, but
no,
I think
go
that's
ahead. This is exactly what this is for.
But I think that's something that we built in on purpose. That when I'm talking to the talent or the managers for the talent, we very much let them know the type of show we are. The fact that listen, we're all Star Wars nerds here. Like the people that started this show, and the people that are coming to the show are Star Wars and most of the talent that have been in Star Wars are Star Wars nerds too. So it's like, listen, we're not a corporate thing. This isn't like a be here at 8:01, do this for 15. Yes, work has to get done. It's a business. Like we have to make sure that we are providing what we say we are doing for our business. But at the same time, if it ceases to be fun, then what's the point of it? It's like we're all here to have a good time and within reason, without people, not being safe or whatnot, or that's the whole point. And we make sure everyone knows that before they're even on site. So they kind of have already kind of taking their guard down a little bit, where it's like, oh, okay, this is not that kind of, it's not that kind of show. Like this is a fun weekend for you, and you're gonna end up making money and going home with it as well. So come out and have a good time. You're not obligated to do any of these things, but we're gonna present all of these things for you to do, and make the weekend what you want. And that's the same way for attendees as it is for the Star Wars talent that comes. It's like we're gonna build this entire incredible itinerary of things that can happen. Do with it, take from that itinerary, make your best weekend out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have a top moment or interaction, Tucky?
I don't have a top moment. I don't because it's so hard to pick. It's like picking your favorite child. It's
right.
I had so many. There's so many fun little things that over the weekend that I've mentioned and said back to people. Even getting to pick Sam up and just talk about David Collins and talk about oh, hey, David Ankrum credits you for getting him in Rogue One. He's like, well, I'll take the credit, but that was Matt Wood and Dave Collins did that. But he's like, that wasn't even me at all, but whatever, I'll take the credit. That's cool. There was just so many fun things, getting to meet Simon. Simon was a lot of fun. We had a little bit of a rocky meeting, and it progressed, and it got much better. And he was on a long flight coming in from Cyprus, and he definitely had some jet lag that he had to get over, and and then the first chat we had. I had something that his agent asked, for him to help with jet lag and stuff. And I was like, man, I know you're a little tired right now. You're a little groggy. And, I got something really cool planned for your birthday. So, like, however you're feeling right now, like you're not even going to remember any of this come tomorrow when when we do a little thing for your birthday. And he's like, cool, man, that's awesome. And then he was ear to ear smiles. He had a great time. He had a good time in his panel. He got to talk about Bond, which no one ever asks him anything about his role in James Bond. So he had fun with that. And then at the end of the event, I got to drive him to the airport. We got to have like a nice chat in the ride where I learned so much about him there. Like he's like I'm an American citizen. I became an American citizen when I started filming here. Like when I was working on Agents of Shield, and he's like, it's something that like I'm very proud of. And he's like, even though I live out of country right now, and my wife is from Sweden, and he's like, I am just very proud of being an American. And it was basically because when we were driving between like Frisco and on the way to DFW Airport, and he was just looking around, and he's like, man, he's like, Texas is just beautiful country. He's like, the U.S. is a beautiful place, but like Texas is so much of American. He's like, this is such a great thing, and he was just kind of just declaring how much that he like loved Texas because it was his first time ever being here.
I mean, you
And
liked it
so
so much you didn't leave.
yeah, no, I came there and stayed. But
Yeah.
so it was a fun kind of really getting to know someone inadvertently just by like, hey man, like I'm here. I'm going to be your ride to the airport. And we got to chat a bunch, and actually we're still emailing. I think he emailed me last night before he was going to Dragon Con.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to ask y'all one more thing before we kind of wrap it up.
Dante didn't answer this last.
Real quick. I should do rapid.
Go ahead.
The cake was pretty was like top tier.
Oh, yeah,
and
it was the cake.
Yeah.
That was pretty top tier for me. But
It was good cake too.
that
It's really good.
I don't know. I think Will's panel. I mean, outside of like meeting him and Grayson and interacting with him all week, like literally it was me and those two tied to the hip the whole weekend. His panel
those two
guys.
Yeah,
awesome.
I did not
Awesome
expect
dudes.
him to be. I mean, I did, but you never know until you get up there, right? For him to be so prepared for, he just knows he's a ball knower when it comes to Star Wars. So, and even Sam said it multiple times to him, which is funny. And then like even in another interview he did,
he knows Sam.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he earned some brownie points with Sam. I think he's like following him on X now.
That's good.
Yeah, he's
Will and X. So.
He might give Bobbypedia a run for his money.
He's pretty good.
Hey, I never claimed to know everything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they both could probably fill some of their Star Wars holes that they might have and things of that sort. Yeah, that was peak. I would say that was peak. Just seeing that interaction in general. And David W. Collins was great. I don't have like a specific moment with him, but he was such a pleasure to just be around, and just the little interactions I did have with him. He was very nice. So
I remember coming out of the elevator. And opening the door, and it's Matt and David Collins are right there, like between like the Starbucks and the elevator. And I was like, "Hey, I was just gonna message you. Since Shannon couldn't make it, she had a panel that was in panel room A, and yours was in B. I was like, do you want to move into A? And he's like, yeah, that'd be fun. And Matt's like, yeah, you should do that. And he's like, all right, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, it's just." I mean, I don't have a favorite moment. I just had a ton of fun interactions throughout the weekend that were a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I know year 3 is way off still, but what and I know that
you say that now.
I say that now.
It's gonna be here sooner than we know.
Yeah.
But I wanna ask y'all kind of, not specifics, obviously, but
Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford.
Done.
Well, not
all right. That's our stream. Okay. But what can people expect? What can people look forward to, kind of going into year 3?
Well, if you've been here if you were just here for year 2, just be ready for that again. We're going to continue. We're not going to. If there's anything that's going to change, it's going to change for the better. We kind of decided on how we wanted to build this community for everyone, and we're kind of getting to do it, and we're going to continue it.
Some of the guest experience, some of the ancillary community experiences that we had, swag trades, buntas, all of those type of events are already in discussion and in the works for year 3, and we're both parties in each regard are talking about what we can do to enhance fan experience for next year. So just really it's just tweaking and flavor enhancing of what you already had on year 2, while also trying to keep as much consistency as possible.
Sure.
Especially now that with some of the things we set up on year 1, there's definitely more of a rhythm for. Like some things were still not quite perfect on year 2 that were definitely improved on from year 1. And we see how to fix them and make them even more efficient for everybody on year 3 as well, and already have taken steps to implement that. So, I mean, it's if you had a good time, expect to have a good time again, but maybe even better.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. We're pretty confident that the same vibes, just more people in general. As we've all been seeing, content has been hot from not just us generally, but from the people that came. I guess from the marketing side, I get to say got a ton of great content that haven't even uncorked yet, which is the great part. So be on the lookout for that.
And there's been nothing but good content constantly being posted on our behalf. And thank you to all of you.
For sure. And then also, not outside of that content too, just expect even more content creators that we'll be reaching out to and just seeing how we can collaborate, how they, them coming out, or just, very similar to some of the things we did this year, except, just maybe some tweaks in general. So we see a lot of familiar faces we've seen, but a lot of new faces too that we've kind of had kind of on our short list, but weren't able to make it work this year around just working before the con and things of that sort. So we're excited about that.
I mean, the one thing we don't want to do is kind of dangle something, present something that's fun and people like, and say, well, that's cool, hope you liked it.
Because we're not doing it again.
And then don't do it again. Like that's it's like if we add something to the show and it's something that's worthwhile and people are having a good time with, that's like, okay, well, that's a part now. Now that's it's Legos. So like we're adding bricks and like that brick's in there now. It's like, if it's something that doesn't work out, that's something where we swap and kind of build from. But it's, okay, cool. Now that's part of this now. Now when we'll be adding things, but it's not like, swapping. It's like, cool. Okay, that's a part of this now.
Yeah, we had the secret sauce. We just got to refine, right? We just got to refine it. We put our foot in it a little bit too for some things, but it's going to be really good. It's going to be even better than what we had for the past 2 years. So
we've already got some cool opportunities that are going to be new, that we're going to be able to add on year 3 that we're kind of working on already, to kind of make the experience even cooler, fill the weekend out even more. So
that's like the perfect mic drop, actually.
I mean,
we'll leave that ominous. You guys stay tuned for more.
I can't stop talking about how awesome year 2 was. I can't wait for year 3. You guys, thank you guys so much for hopping on and talking all about it. I hope we can do it again closer to year 3. Bobby, I love your sign off for all of your your Rebel Scum videos. Could I
sure?
I urge you to do it for me.
Sure. Right now.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well,
real quick,
first,
before you do
thank
that,
you.
Cameron,
okay.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
For this being your first time, you did a great job, and obviously all your support throughout the years too.
This has been
really been rocking with us. So thank you. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
This has been a lot of fun. Glad to do this. I'm a few minutes away from going to see my friends in Bush and Shinedown. I'm sitting right here in the loading dock. But I go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cameron, thank you for having us. Guys, make sure you subscribe. to Limitless Nerd if you haven't already. And stay tuned for everything Rebel Scum Con Year 3 by liking and subscribing all Rebel Scum Con official or just Rebel Scum Con social media channels. Anywhere you can find us, we're on pretty much every single major platform. And we'll see you guys later. We'll see you at Year 3 of Rebel Scum Con. And may the Force be with all of you, you Rebel Scum.